Here we are at Book Expo America 2012 here in New York City, and I'm Kristen White. I'm the host of Bestselling Celebrity Author TV, and I'm here with Tom Rossman, who has an exciting new ebook coming out. Hi.
Hi.
So tell us a little bit about your new ebook.
Well, my book deals primarily with the fact that America is becoming more polarized, and politically, economically, socially, on every respect. And there's a lot being written and talked about presently in that regard. What my book deals with is the fact that our political system is increasingly incapable of bridging that polarization. And so I create a framework through the synthesis revolution on how we can actually bridge the polarization and develop superior solutions for our society.
Wow. So tell us about your personal background and when you decided that you wanted to write a book about this.
I decided to write a book about this a number of years ago. I had gone through graduate school and been interacting and doing emerging market work around the world in the former Soviet Union, in Asia and Africa, in Turkey and Eastern Europe. And one of the things that profoundly impacted me was the way that different societies reconciled their differences, their differences and their interests. And that is what we're presently incapable of doing, is bridging the differences. People have had different perspectives on society and analysis for thousands of years. And the ability of a society to succeed is directly related to their capability of actually reconciling those differences.
So this is really exciting that you have this book coming out. What is your big vision for the book?
Well, the big vision is that, number one, we'll understand the problem, that Americans can actually understand what's wrong with our political system and why we're unable to productively reconcile our different views and interests. And then once adopted, the synthesis revolution can change the political dynamic significantly and allow us to shift from sweeping problems under the rug to dealing with them, and as synthesis creates a superior solution to either individual position, we actually have a much more prosperous and flourishing society.
Sounds like there's a lot of solutions inside your book for what's going on in our world today.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it really applies to every society, because we've created more prosperity in the last 200 years than in the previous 7,000 years of civilization combined. And because of that, one of the factors that I explore is, where were the big transition points? Where did prosperity start to take a much more accelerated trajectory? And the clearest example that I can point to is the transition from the medieval period to the modern period, and that it required that people think in a completely new way. For in the medieval period society, people had a very hierarchical view of the world, and as modern society began to develop, they transitioned into a more individual-based and valuing the individual and not placing people on hard and fast hierarchies.
It's interesting to think that in some ways maybe we're going from a medieval to a new world again.
I think, if you
metaphorically.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because it's a profound question, because if you look at the history of civilizations, they have always had essentially one society figures out a comparative or competitive advantage, they exploit that advantage, and their society grows, and they reach a plateau which requires them to think in new ways. And those societies that develop and think in new ways make it to another level of accelerating prosperity. Unfortunately, I think we are at what I call an inflection point. Other people call a plateau or stagnation. And our political system is so important for our economic system, and without that ability to progress in ideas politically, our economy is going to stagnate and become equally as ineffective as our political system is now.
Lots of interesting thoughts to just really ponder. It's a juicy book, I can tell. So where can we find this, and when will it be out?
So the ebook is coming out. It's called The Synthesis Revolution, and that can be found at synthesisrevolution.com. The longer book will be out at the end of July, early August, and that is called Forming a More Perfect Union, New Thinking for a New Era of Prosperity. And that will be out, as I said, late July, and that's formingamoreperfectunion.com.
Tom, thank you for being here with us and telling us about your exciting new book.
My pleasure. Thank you.